who's Mimi's new boyfriend? Who's Mimi's new boyfriend? Oh my gosh, who is he? Who is he? Mona, you're gonna have to do a little bit better than this, because we all knew about this a month ago. Anyway, so this is the Season 5 recap for the season premiere of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. It's back, y'all. So let's jump right into this. Alright. It starts off with Carly Red, Tammy, who apparently is back on the show, and Rashida just discussing what's going on. You know, Rashida and Carly Red both have their stores. They're doing very well. Carly's actually opening up stores in LA. Rashida's store is, like the third highest grossing store in the Lenox Mall by revenue? Whatever it is. She's doing very well. Doing absolutely very well. And Tammy is also doing well for herself. She has a huge new home. 8 rooms or 8 bedrooms, and right now her man is on tour, so she's home alone. She's feeling a certain way about it. Young Jock and what's his face? You know, the one that we love to dislike, Kirk. Yeah, Young Jock and Kirk join the ladies, and Carly's just like, yo, no, I'm not touching that hand. I'm like, okay, Carly, so you think we're supposed to forget the fact that you had his finger all up in your mouth? Did we really forget that? No. Now, apparently this whole party that they're at is actually for Tim. It's in memory of this music producer, rapper, this man who is a part of the King's family. And at the head of the King's family is Karen King, either known as KK. KK is, you know, KK isn't about the BS. She is about it, but she's about it in a different way. She's not going to be the comical Mama D type. She's more so going to be the, you cross her, you might end up in a ditch somewhere. And yes, I feel like this has very fitting because a bunch of characters on this damn scene. Oh crap, what happened to that? Yeah. And so, aside from all that, damn, that hurt. We have another Scrappy, as if one wasn't enough. Actually, no, one is called Scrap, the other one's called Scrappy. So Scrap is a part of the King's family, and Scrap has his own stuff to deal with. He has his baby mama, and he has his girlfriend. His girlfriend's name is Tommy. And I'm jumping ahead, but anyway, everyone's making a big deal. It's like, oh, look at them. They're like the mafia for real. They're like the mafia of Atlanta, the King family. I'm like, okay, so that means they have real money. That means that things shouldn't get too petty because they have an image to protect. And like I said, they're there in memory of their cousin or brother who was killed, I believe. That was the story. And so everyone was showing their respects, and even certain big artists were saying how he influenced part of the culture, the music culture that is very prevalent in Atlanta today. You had T-Pain there, you had another artist there. So it's like, okay, I believed you, but this adds more credibility. Now, we get to the Scrappy we know, and the Mama D we love. Mama D is trying to talk to Scrappy and just be like, look, so what's going on? Scrappy isn't with the Bams, they broke up. Scrappy isn't dealing with Erica, and I don't think Erica's going to be on the show anymore. I believe she said she quit or she was fired. Either way, I'm happy because Erica didn't have a storyline of her own. It was getting annoying after a while. I'm glad she's gone. Now, Mama D is there in full force. Curtis isn't doing what he's supposed to do. He loves being with Mama D, but he does not like paying rent. I'm like, Mama D, you are a pimp now. How do you have a man that doesn't like to pay for things? And you are a pimp. You are an ex-pimp. Come on now. Scrappy's just like, you know, I don't want no drama. I don't want no worries. I ain't got no worries. I'm good here in these streets. So I'm going to continue to do me. But if Curtis does anything or doesn't start to do something, then we're going to have an issue. We're going to have a problem. We're going to have a problem in here. You hear me? So I was like, all right, we get it. Mama D's like, you know what? You and Rashida and Kirk, y'all are cool. Y'all grew up together, like for real, for years. So I understand what the issue is. It's like, look, I'm gonna go and handle it. And you know, Mama T should not ever be involved in someone else's business because it normally turns into... There's no resolution. Now, Mimi, we find out who Chris is. Who Chris is. Chris is a woman. Shocker! Shocker! Yeah, so Chris is a woman, and we're just all thinking to ourselves, look, Mimi. Mimi. This is your storyline. You need the storyline. You're not going to be arguing with Jocelyn. You're probably not going to have that much drama with CBJ. You needed the storyline. So, thankfully, Chris is your storyline. You know, you've been with the men and they've been treating you bad, so now you're with a woman. Shocker. There is nothing new about this concept. There's absolutely nothing new about this concept. And that's why you're not calling yourself a lesbian. Because you're not. You just want to do what you want to do. Like what most people want to do nowadays. They just want to do whatever they want to do. They don't want any labels. They have no worries. I'm like, alright, Mimi, we don't care. Do you. Or do Chris. Or have Chris do you. However that works. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't believe this for a second. I believe that she likes Chris because she's different. But that's as far as it goes. And after the show is done, that's it for them. Like, maybe an extra year or so, and then Mimi's back to the D. I hate to talk like that, but let's just be real. We know that's what's going to happen. Oh, Lord Jesus. Alright, so after that, you have Scrappy and, what's his face? Young Bird. Why do I want to call him Young Bird? Young Jock, who apparently have a bachelor pad together. Again, we know they have this for the show. They have this for the show. Not saying that they're not cool with each other enough to live with each other, but I'm like, this is for the show. They both need storylines. They don't have relationship issues right now, so they both need storylines. They're going to be each other's storyline. Do you not see how this all works? See, Mona, I love you. I love the production on the show. I love the how different everyone's storylines incorporated, but I'm gonna need for this to be a little less obvious. Anyway, Scrappy has an assistant, he has an assistant, and Jock is already sweating her. He's sweating her for a very good reason. You see the stuttering? Because I'm looking at her right now. Now, anyway, Scrappy's like, this is professional. Don't mess this up for me. I actually have big things going on right now. Alright, so Tommy is meeting up with Karen. Karen is KK, ahead of the King's family. And Karen's just like, look, you need to talk with Scrap because... And I'm just thinking to myself, hold up. What the hell is Karen doing? I only say it like that because I'm like, that's her son. I understand what she's trying to do, but you still ratted out your son. You still ratted out your son to his girlfriend. That could have gone really left. Really left. Thankfully, Tammy is a cool, calm, and collected and just wants to see things through instead of just blow up. I actually like Tammy. I mean, why am I saying Tammy? Well, I like Tammy too, but Tommy. Yeah, and aside from that, you have Erica Dimepiece is back. And I like Erica Dimepiece. I mean, is that her name? Erica Dimepiece? Dimepiece is back. And, of course, she's chum-chum with Cardi. I want to call her Cardi so bad. See, that's the lasting impression that Cardi B has had on me. Carly Red. And who else? And Tommy. Now, Tommy invited them all out to this club because, guess what? Scrap's baby mama actually works here. She works at the club. And so, she has no idea who she is. As far as Tommy knows who the baby mama is, but the baby mama doesn't know who Tommy is. And I'm thinking to myself, how is that possible when you were helping to raise her son, and she doesn't even know who you are? Like, what's wrong with that? What is really going on in that relationship? But Tommy rubs everyone the wrong way because of the fact that she's friends with Jocelyn. She's like, oh yeah, Jocelyn's doing big things out there in LA with Stevie J and all of them. And it was just like, Jocelyn, ugh. And I respect the fact that Tommy was like, Jocelyn's my girl, so I'm gonna rock with her. And until she burns me, that's when I'll go and join your bandwagon. But I'm not gonna join the bandwagon and bash her when she's not right next to me, because I'm not fugazi like that. I'm like, you know what? I like Tommy. Now, Tommy, she goes and she meets up with Tara. Yes, we have another Tara on here. Tara has this old, what the hell's wrong with me? Has this whole thing of, she has no idea who Tommy is. So she doesn't think twice of her. Tara's just happy to have some camera time. And I'm like, this is messed up. You know that this is all set up. Tara doesn't know about, what do you call it? She does not know about Tommy as far as that being Tommy. But she does recognize Carly Red and Jessica Dimepiece for the most part. And so it's just like, oh yeah, they like me. They want to be around me. Carly wants to go and be her usual messy self. She goes and essentially drags information out of Tara. And Tara's just like, yeah, so I'm with Scrap. And I'm like, Tara, stop it. Why are you telling all your business out there in the street? I'm like, okay, you're a little too trusting, a little too honest. And that might be good for reality TV, but not for your real life. You can't be putting yourself out there like that. And it was just like, oh Lord. Because then things got worse. Because then she was like, oh yeah, we on and off. That's my baby's daddy. And I'm with him on and off. Sleep together, all this stuff. And this was like, oh, okay. But I respect the fact that Tommy didn't blow up. Tommy was doing some sneaky stuff in general. So a little looked crazy. But at least Tommy was willing enough to just hold her composure and be like, all right, this isn't the right time. This isn't the right setting. This is not this woman's fault. This is Scrap's fault. So I'm going to deal with him. And I'm like, that's how it's supposed to be. Like, why is it when, for example, a woman has two guys and then the guys fight and it's like, no, you should be yelling at the woman for playing you. Or when there's two women who think that they're in a monogamous relationship with one guy, and they find out that's not the case. Same thing where they scrap instead of going after the guy. It's like the other person didn't do you wrong as long as they didn't know about you. Come on now. Now, Mama D goes and she decides, you know what? I need to talk with Rashida to clear things up with Scrappy, with the prince. So she goes to Tags. She goes to Rashida's place of business. And I'm like, this is not, this is the wrong, see, this is the same petty stuff. But again, this is how I know none of this is really serious, because Mama D feels double teamed, which she was in a general sense, but they weren't like going at her. Mama D was going off, and I'm like, you're in their place of business. They have all rights to be like, you need to chill out. Now, here's what happens afterwards. Because of the coonery and buffoonery that has resulted in Mama D acting how she acts, she's like, you know what? Take this. She takes his bag, and I'm like, what is she doing? She takes his bag, pours it out, and it's hay. It's like, look, now, why don't you go and squat and lay out a golden egg? And I'm like, you just call her a bird? Is that what you were trying to do? Like, Mama D is doing too much. Next, we see Scrappy. I love Mama D. And again, Rashida and her mama just laughing at her. Sidebar, her stepdaughter was clowning the hell out of her. Her stepdaughter was paying her absolutely no mind. So it's just like, do it for the gram. No. Instagram's over. Snapchat. Just like, you ain't right. Now we have Scrap, who, again, is there with the 4 kids because only one is his. All the rest are Tara's. Now, the thing is, because he has such a good relationship with her, he watches all of the kids. And I'm like, okay, shout out to him for that. He was definitely kind of giving me, who was it? Was it Real? Yeah, Real from Real Chance of Love, rest in peace. With the hair, except for, I'm like, no one can do the black man long straight hair like Real. Because his hair looked better than most of the women's out here. Which had me like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Now, again, that was for a Real Chance of Love, not Scrap. I don't know what that was. So anyway, Tara's just talking about how during the day she works in the financial sector. And I'm like, okay, cool. And that night, to make more money, she goes and she doesn't strip. She acts as a, what is it called? A bartender? I forgot what it's called. An exotic bartender? Just where you wear the sexy lingerie and you hand out the drinks, but there's no touching, there's no lap dances or anything like that. So I'm like, okay, so where does she work where they allow you to do that? But then again, most people have jobs that their coworkers have no idea what's going on. A lot of people have at least 2 jobs nowadays. So I guess shout out to her for that. She's holding down the fort. She's not asking him for anything. Shout out to her for that. She's beautiful, and she's just like, look, I need you to tell me what's going on, what's good. And while she was talking about she's going to be going to this party, she met a couple of girls at work, and he realizes, oh crap, Tommy played me. Tommy found out where Tara worked and met up with her. I don't know what information she got from her. All I know that this could be bad. This could be ground zero. So I have to go and do damage control as soon as possible. You know, Tommy is at home and she's in her lingerie and she's looking. Damn, Scrap. Shout out to Scrap. Both of his ladies, they're 10s. They're 10s. They're classy. Shout out to both. I like both of them. So I understand his struggle. I really do. I really do. Like, and I know it's, I'm not mad at him. I'm really not mad at him. That's such a hard situation to be in. So he's talking to Tommy, and it was just like, all right, so DTR, define the relationship. What's really going on? Am I your one and only, or am I your only one? Which one is it? What's really good? And he was like, look, I know what you did, so just admit what you did. It's like, okay, yeah, I did it, and what? It was like, you just have to trust me. I'm with you. I'm going to nail that other thing in the butt. We'll be good, right? It's like, all right, as long as you do that, we'll be good. Now, again, the ladies all meet up. You know, Jessica Dimepiece, Carly Red, Tommy, all the girls, because it's Mimi's boyfriend's birthday, or so they think. This is when they find out who Chris is, and they're thinking, oh crap, it's that Idris Elba type that was walking in with Mimi. Nope. Chris was a short little stud that was right next to Mimi, and they're like, what? You know they don't care. Like, no one cares about that stuff nowadays. Well, that's not true, but at least in this type of field, in this type of setting, no one would care. I don't care either, but I feel bad for Chris, because I feel like Chris probably feels like the relationship is more permanent than what it really is. And that's what pisses me off, because I'm like, Mimi, come on now. Let's be real, Mimi. Let's be real, Mimi. So again, guess who pops up at the party? Who pops up at the party? Tara. Tara pops up at the party. And so Jessica's just like, oh crap, girl, hey, what are you doing here? And she's like, oh, I feel actually a little bit bad, so I'm going to be super nice to her, because who knows how this is going to go. And we see, of course, a super trailer for what happens in the season. And I'm like, damn, this first episode was actually pretty good, because we had to get acclimated to the new characters. So I was like, okay, I can rock with this cast. I can definitely rock with this cast. This is definitely clearly going to be the best, continue to be the best out of the whole series. 11 Hip Hop Atlanta. I was afraid because it was like last season was just like iffy. But shout out to Mona. She rebranded and everyone's going to be coming out with something different. I'm glad that everyone has something different going on, because it gets old seeing the same old crap season after season. Finally some new stuff, even if it's fake and phony. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think.